bro. What'd you link? Understood guy, at least acknowledge it though. Anyway, my local comic book shop restart. So I mean, Batman the Cold. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, resale brand new. You got lucky. Marvel Comics has announced the Age of Revelation, a new comic event that will jump 10 years into the future and see the X-Men live in a world molded by Apocalypse successor. So Earth 2 type shit. Oh shit. They gonna be living under duress. Oh yeah, that's a cop. We reading that. That's a cop. Old man Cyclops. Cyborg Wolverine. Got my copy of Sinners on 4K. Hey. I just hate I had to do it to you. You know, it's funny. Speaking of Sinners, y'all want to hear a funny story that happened like this past weekend? My father started spilling all the fucking family secrets this past weekend during the July 4th. So my mother told me last year that I was Native American. It's funny because Nomad's in the chat. I had like Nomad would always joke, you look Native American because I have a red in my beard. I was like, no, I'm not. You know, niggas always say that shit, you Native American. So anyways, my girl is Native American. And when my mom found out, she says, oh, that's cool. She's like, you know, your grandma's Native American. She told me this like a year ago. And I had said to her, I was like, get the fuck out of here. No, she's not. I didn't know because I only know my grandma on my mom's side. I never met my grandma on my dad's side because she passed away when she was young. So he said, I've been told this nigga. So this past 4th of July, somebody met the family. And to relate to her, they was like, oh yeah, we Native too. And you know how that came up in conversation? We were talking about Sinners, right? This made, you ever looked at your, for niggas who know they daddy, I looked at my father. I gave this nigga, who is this nigga, bruh? We were talking about Sinners. This nigga says, he's like, you know, hey, he's like, I was watching Sinners, right? And he's like, you know the scene where the Choctaws come out? I think that's how you say the tribe's name. I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's your granny. I'm like, what? I'm watching the movie looking at myself and I didn't even fucking know it, bro. Then this nigga pulls out an old picture from 1923. And like, I'm not gonna show the picture because none of y'all fucking business, but I showed it in the group chat. I was like, oh yeah, that's a Native woman. So yes, I am part Native. I found out I actually am. The Choctaws, I think that's how you say their name. Yeah. But I mean, I was looking at that nigga. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Who is this guy, bro? I was like, all right, dude, you've changed. You were a dickhead when I was a kid. So I learned one of the family secrets, but in my head, I'm still black. But I am partially, basically. Hit the fraud. Yeah, hit the fraud alert for dad. You should have had a certain percent. Yeah, I might be like an 8th or a 4th or some shit like that. But I was like, okay. I know a few Choctaws, the black indigenous Hokage. I was like, all right, bro. But that shit was funny because it came up in conversation because of the Sinners. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up, because you said you bought a Sinners DVD. That shit had me cracking. I was like, all right, bro, whatever, dude. But anyways, what am I about to do? Oh, it's time for another edition. You said get your reparations. Yo, chill out, bro. Look at you, nigga. Hey, get your reparation. Hit the reservation. Nah, in my head, I'm still black, bro. Meanwhile, I did my ancestry. I found out I'm 36% white, just like JG. Unlocked a new badge. You learn something, bro. You learn something. But I never asked my father that type of question because I said my granny passed away when she was really young. He said she drowned when she was younger, and it always seemed like a sticky, sensitive subject. So my dad didn't like talking about that shit, but he opened up about it this past weekend. But it made me laugh because I was like, damn, I was watching Sinners and I was looking at myself and I didn't even know it. Besides the black people, the other people that was in there, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, that's a new reaction. Like, you ever looked at someone? All right, nigga. You would have never told me that if it wasn't for her. Like, you said all because of Sinners. So Sinners is one of the greatest movies. I learned a family damn secret because of this damn shit, bro. I want to do ancestry so bad. You got to do it. You got to do it. Let me put on this. But you also know what else happened this past weekend during the July 4th. I was in Alabama visiting family for July 4th, and you know I had to hit the record stores because prices down south is much cheaper. So it's time for another edition of Am I Valid? I picked up a handful of records and I brought them back. Also, I got some books to show y'all. Sinners is life-changing type shit. When your dad drops the family law, I'm like, look at this dickhead, dude. But anyways, now I gotta sit with my family down and watch it. I mean, if black people and natives always had a common name, natives would. Yeah, so I was like, cool, whatever. Made us grow closer. All right, here's what I picked up at the record store. I think I have the dude's card too, because I kind of want to shout him out, man. Most of these records was like $8, man. Yeah, I got it. It's called Maxwell's Music. He gave me his card. Because I told him in LA they be taxing. But if you live in Huntsville, Alabama, or anywhere near Huntsville, check out this dude's store if you want to take a screenshot. This dude's shit, his collection was very valid. And he had a bunch of records for the low. You said $8, good look, that's a steal. Yeah, I shopped there. Okay. Yeah, the dude was super nice too. He gave me a couple joints. So I picked up, first one, I picked up Tina Marie, Emerald City. I picked up some white chocolate. You said, let me know if I'm valid. Let me know. Most of these records were like between $8 and $12 versus here in LA, it starts at 20 to 30 and it can go up. That's valid. Little Tina Marie, let me know. I said, as soon as I said, I got a cop. I don't need y'all opinion on this one. I know it's valid. I finally was able to find an original pressing of some Teddy P. Big Teddy Pendergrass, nothing too crazy. If you don't know Teddy P, ask your mama. She know who this nigga is, bruh. Very valid. Original pressing. Yes, sir. I couldn't do too much because I didn't want to fuck up my suitcase. You don't even gotta ask. Nomad gonna think this one is funny because he know I love crackheads. But I found David Ruffin's first album. Who Am I? Don't you walk away from me, love. Copped it. Big David Ruffin. Yes, sir. You said where the Hobson. Let me know. Am I valid? Let me know that one of the best voices of a generation. Super valid. Yeah. Hey, Steve, I told you, go to the store. I can put the card in the group chat if you want. This store was very valid. I got some Barry White. Big Barry. You know I had to cop soon as I seen it. Let me know. I think this was his first or second album. Super valid. I got a ton of black ass shit, bro. And then these two, and I don't know. These two I don't know anything about, but I'm probably gonna play one of these tonight. So I walked into the store. This dude was super knowledgeable about music. I said that I wanted to get into jazz music, so like when I'm cleaning the house, I could just put a record on. I was like, give me some recommendations. This dude at that store, Maxwell's in Huntsville, he pulled out like 10 jazz records for me to give me like different options. And then he looked at what I had in my hand that I was gonna buy and he based it off of that. And he told me I would like this stuff. So this first one is Herbie Hancock. He said this one was fire and he's sure I'm gonna like it. He was like, he asked me, he's like, do you know any idea of what kind of jazz do you like? And I said, yeah. This is how I knew he was a professional. He said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, have you ever seen Hey Arnold? And he's like, yeah, it was a while ago. But he's like, I know what you're talking about. I was like, think of like the Hey Arnold soundtrack. I was like, that's mainly jazz. I was like, I fuck with that shit. He's like, I got something for you. So he told me this Herbie was lit. That's goated. This a good joint? Okay. Chat saying it's valid. He told me this was valid. And then, because jazz is hard to get into if you don't like know the history like that. And then he also gave me, I picked up 2 jazz records. Then he gave me the compositions of Horace Silver. Is anybody familiar? He said this album was fire too. He said, is anybody familiar with it? Jazz will forever be a vibe. Tight shit. I'm glad a lot of y'all know Herbie in the chat. Nah, W, that's valid. Goddamn. So that's what I picked up this past weekend. Oh wait, no, I'm bugging. I got a few more. I got a Commodore's album too. You see that shit only $8. Commodore's Natural High. Come on, bruh. The collection, these is legit. I forgot I even had this shit. I was like, oh, there's more. I got a Commodore's joint. Let me know. This was probably the most expensive one, but I had to get it because I didn't know if I was going to run into this again. But I found an original pressing of Sam Cooke, Mr. Soul. I had to cop that shit right there. Big Sam, we got to have that in the collection. Oh my God, Mr. Soul, very valid. I know. I went on a run this weekend. I went on a run this past weekend. Double valid. I had to stop myself. This dude, go to this record store. His shit might have been the best record store that I've been to. When I went in there, I only checked like a corner of the store and I had to stop because I found so much shit that I liked. I was like, nah, first of all, I can't fit all this in my suitcase. I don't want to ship it. I don't want to spend too much money. But I told him whenever I'm in town, you'll see me around. That's the fucking price online. It's a great pick. So I didn't get robbed for that joint. And then last but not least, I didn't buy this shit, chat. My girl wanted this. She loved The Little Mermaid, but the Little Mermaid soundtrack from the new movie, this ain't mine. I ain't listening to this shit. But she wanted it, so whatever. But the rest of the stuff is mine. It was still a steal for $8 because I guarantee you this probably was $40 in fucking Walmart. Nah, I own it. Nah, that's not my shit, nigga. That's what I got in terms of records this past weekend. Shout out to Mr. Gerard Maxwell of Maxwell's Music. His store is legit. If you in Huntsville or anywhere near it, go check them out. He told me a lot of people from Nashville come to his store. They drive like an hour and a half. And he's cool too, because I told him I stay in LA, and he told me, I told him how they be taxing in LA. And he's like, oh, he's like, I post online. He's like, if you want something, just send me the money on PayPal. He's like, I'll ship it to you. I said, my nigga. So support small business, man. Support the mom and pops. We love to see that shit. I said, my guy. That's my guy. He had a great collection and he knows his music, the plug. So yeah, we found a plug. And then books. All right, this is what we got. This is all stuff from like last week. But this is not what came out this week. I'm a Nashvillean. I will be down there. Check it out. It's not a far drive. The shipping got me. Yeah, I came back. Well, no, I had this stuff last week. I just didn't stream most of last week because, like I said, I went out of town. So this is what I got last week. In terms of comic books, Wonder Woman #9, Absolute Wonder Woman #9. Introduces a bunch of different characters. I haven't caught up on this yet, so don't ask me what I think. I think this is the only one I haven't read. But let me know. Did anybody read this issue yet? Is it lit? Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman. W cover. It is fire. Next is Sonic the Hedgehog in DC crossover issue #4. As you can see, Batman dukes it out with Metal Sonic. I did read this one. This is the 4th of the 5th issue. 4 out of 5. This shit's fire. I recommend it. I've been reading the whole series. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this crossover has been fire. I actually hope it gets animated. I'm on 8, haven't gotten to 9 yet. Yeah, I had to catch up on the other stuff. So here's a new series that came out last week, Wolverine and the Deadpools. This one's I don't know, 7 out of 10. I read this issue already. 7 out of 10, I'd say. It's cool. Do you need to go to the store and buy this? No, I'd say if you have like Marvel Unlimited, just read it online for free, allegedly, or whatever. The story of this one, basically, a town in like some European town, some like, what is it, obscure European town is getting attacked by a mutant, and Deadpool and Wolverine with their daughters team up to stop them. It's fun. It's kind of like Wolverine and Spider-Man. Like if you're like a super fan of these characters, you might like it. But is the story great so far? It's all right. It's like a 7 out of 10. Like if you're on a budget, just read that online.
But unfortunately, riding is not a proper form of transportation.
I would say in terms of...
Get off my man Sonic's dick!
I would say in terms of new stuff, my favorite pickup from last week, this is the one I would recommend reading the most. And that would be Captain America #1. This is volume 12. So there's a new run of Captain America going on right now. This shit is gas. This one is about the early days of Captain America. So this takes place literally 2 weeks after he comes out of the ice. And it tells the story of his first mission when he comes out of the ice. He's not even a part of the Avengers. Basically, he has to take on Dr. Doom. And it's him trying to figure out the world, since he's been in the ice and shit like that. This shit is gas. I would recommend this one. Definitely read this one if you take one. Yeah, and the cover's cold. This one's valid if you want to add it to the collection. I would recommend this one. And then the last new thing that I got from last week was Bring on the Bad Guys, Green Goblin. I read this morning. I have the other one, Bring on the Bad Guys. Was it Dr. Doom? So it's like a 7-part series where they're going to highlight more backstory from different villains in the Marvel universe. And it involves this grand story with Mephisto. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to drop it after reading this one. The one with Dr. Doom was okay. The first one. This one was kind of mid. Also, I'm not a big Green Goblin fan. And I don't feel like this issue pushed along the main storyline with Mephisto enough. It was more about the Green Goblin. And I'm like, why'd you set up all that other shit in the first issue if you're going to drag it in the second one. I don't really feel like the story captivated me. If I do continue to read this, it'll be online. I don't think I'm going to buy the other issues. I know there's one coming with Red Skull and Loki and all this other. Yeah, it felt like filler. I wouldn't recommend buying it. It's okay. It's like a 6. I would say read it online if you really want to read it. Did you check out the Illuminati comic? Are you talking about the one with Charlemagne the God? Because y'all, I don't know if y'all know, but Charlemagne the God has a comic book called Illuminati. I read it this morning, allegedly. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I don't know. Let me see if I don't have a hard copy of it, but I read it. Let me see. I was like, this nigga's making comic books. The God. You said, wait, I'm being dead ass serious. Hold on, I'm gonna find it online. Show you what it looks like. Here you go. Yeah, it's called Illuminati. It's pretty good. I read it this morning. It's like a 7.5. The story of this in the first issue is there's a woman who goes to Hollywood. She wants to become a singer and she overdoses on drugs. At least that's what the police say when they find her in her room, her hospital, or not her hospital, but her in her hotel. And her sister basically comes to LA to try to figure out what happens to her. And she finds out that the Illuminati's real and they're trying to kill her. It's like a conspiracy story. It's pretty interesting so far. Would I buy it? I don't know. But I'm gonna continue to read it. I randomly saw this shit online allegedly and I read it. It was pretty good. I wasn't bad. Solomon got a good comic for real. I would say check it out. I don't care if he hires writers, if it's a good story. I would say it's a good story so far on some Jessica Jones type shit. I'd recommend it just to read. I don't know. I gotta get like 3 issues in before I say I recommend buying like a hard copy of that shit. We'll see how it turns out. What did I think of Ironheart? I gave it a 7 out of 10. I talked about it on Twitter. The highs are high and the lows are low. I think the second half of the season is much better than the first half. But don't fall for the rhetoric. The show is not as bad as like some of these racist people are saying online. It's just an all right show. Add it to your watch list. It's okay. And then, last new thing I got last week. I haven't read this one. It's a trade paperback. It's one of those things I'll get around to reading when I read. But there's a new trade paperback for Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's a story, I think, in the early days of when Zuko is hold up. Zuko is the Fire Lord, and like his little sister is wilding out in the fire kingdom, and basically the story tracks her and basically the bullshit she be on because he's worried about her. At least that's what the synopsis says. I ain't read this one yet, but I bought it because it's Avatar and I like Avatar shit. I did not expect the ending of Ironheart to turn out the way that it did. I was genuinely surprised. Yeah, the ending was fire. The ending was definitely fire. His little sister, yeah, apparently he has a little half sister or whatever. Do I still got Dominican in me? Nah, apparently I'm native. All right, so here that's the new stuff from last week. Now let's talk about the collection before we get on the game. For those unaware, I've been putting together a collection of comic books for when eventually I buy a house of classic comic books or really cool covers that I like of Black characters, stuff that means stuff to me. I'm trying to put, and I'm gonna hang it up on the wall. I'm making a wall of Black excellence, basically. And here are the new editions of the Black Excellence collection.
First, I appreciate the super chat, twin. I guess dropping a super bag on a super nigga like me would be super appropriate for a time like this.
Yo, shout out to D Griff with the $5 super chat. Here's the first one I got for you. So this is a variant cover of Sam Wilson's Captain America, but it's a hip hop edition where they basically took inspiration from A$AP Rocky's Long Live A$AP cover, but instead it's Sam Wilson wrapped in the American flag. This shit is fire. When I saw this, I had to cop this shit. Let me know if it's valid. I ain't reading this shit. It's going on the fucking wall. And nigga Ozai really wasn't shit. The shadow go on the wall? Nah, he ain't black enough. Venom either. That's valid. That's tough. That's tough. I had to cop that shit. The next one I got for you, we start with the more modern stuff, this is Static Shock Rebirth of Cool #1. So I have Static #1, the original, and then this is his second run that came out in 2001. This is issue #1. This is a really rare cover. I had to cop this shit. This is actually what the show was mainly based off of, because the original Static is different than the show, but this is what the Static show is. This is what it took inspiration from, if you didn't know. So this is #1 from the 2001 run. Valid. I had to cop that shit. The next one I don't expect y'all to know because this one is super deep cut. But I'll put y'all onto some history, some comic book history. DC has a Black superhero, probably a lot of y'all don't know. It's kind of like their version of Black Panther. He comes from like a secret advanced society but he's also different in a different way. But his name was Tyrock. He premiered in a Superboy comic, and this is his first appearance. This is a deep cut shit. I don't expect a lot of people. It's not worth anything either. This was in a dollar bin, but I found it and I decided to get it because he's black. So fuck it. Why not? Who knows? Maybe James Gunn will use him one day. They need more black super. Yeah, the suit is wild. This one I know you guys will like. I have issue number 1 of the new Teen Titans, which is the first official cover appearance of Cyborg, and as well as the Teen Titans from the early 2000s show. Now I got the origin story. This is Teen Titans number 1 special, 1 of 4. This is the origin story of Victor Stone, which I thought this cover was fucking fire, so I had to cop because, come on, black superhero, Cyborg, we love Cyborg. Omega valid, very valid. And then, last but not least, for the Black Excellence wall, I got a big boy book. Y'all gonna like this one. This one cost me a little bit of money, but we had to get it. We talking about Jungle Action number 6, first appearance of Michael B. Jordan. First appearance of Killmonger, basically. You said, oh shit, valid, don't cut. The first appearance of Creed. I got me a big boy book. I had to get the Killmonger. So that's what I got in the collection for y'all. We updated now, finally. We can get on the goddamn game. So this has been another edition of Am I Valid? I've spent entirely too much money in the last 2 months. I will be much more pickier about what I'm buying because fucking going broke over here. All right, let's get on the game. Solid haul. Hopefully I put y'all onto some stuff. If you want one major recommendation out of all the books that I gave, that Captain America number 1, volume 12 that just came out last week, that shit is gas. And I was surprised by that Charlemagne joint. You say that every week. I did buy less books last week, to be fair. All right, let's get on the Xbox joint. The records, I had to spend some money because it was much cheaper. I had to do it, bro. I had to do it.